Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a good Monday afternoon and I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of this brand new week in February 2023 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you are new. Remember to share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on all times to receive all brand new dedicated content planned for the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel and community, put that notification bell on to receive more brand new Fortnite content, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, the new SpongeBob game, FIFA 23 Career Mode, the new Formula 1 game, Disney Dreamlight Valley, Minecraft, and much more brand new stuff. So please subscribe to United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. And good afternoon to every single one of you. And welcome to your UEFA Europa League knockout round playoffs first leg match preview to Manchester United Europa League campaign continuation on Thursday night, on Thursday the 16th of February 2023 this year. First leg stages away to the mighty FC Barcelona. You heard it here first, FC Barcelona against Manchester United in the knockout rounds playoffs first legs in the 2022-2023 UEFA Europa League competition this season. The continuation in Europa League European football returns this week, and Manchester United face the mighty uphill task of taking on FC Barcelona. This is going to be probably our biggest test of where Man United are compared to FC Barcelona. The way Barcelona are playing in the Liga and the way they are 11 points clear at the top of the league, and the way Xavi, ex-Barcelona legend, has masterfully Barcelona into a fighting force in European football again. Obviously, they got knocked out of the UEFA Champions League group stage, which means they are now in the Europa League. And we're all dreading it. I am dreading the fact that we've got to play Barcelona. Without Messi, without Neymar, without Suarez, I think Barcelona are a lot worse team when they had them in. I feel like Barcelona now have had a major rebuild under Xavi, and it's going to be a very tough game for Man United. It's going to be a level in quality and difference, in my opinion. I feel like Barcelona is going to be really tough for Manchester United to take on. And I feel like this is our biggest test of where we are compared to Barcelona. There is a difference in quality between players and manager. I feel like for me, Man United have got the uphill advantage only just. But the way Barcelona are playing in the Liga at the moment, it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be easy. And Man United do face a major uphill task of trying to go to the Camp Nou and beat them. I mean, we've got to get a first league deficit. We've got to go there and win. And we need to keep a clean sheet. I feel like we're going to have to go there and score a goal. I feel like we need to come out of 2 or 3 goals to our advantage. And we need to try and keep a clean sheet. But the way Manchester United have got injuries, suspensions, and also fatigue in the squad, I think it's going to be an uphill task for Man United to beat Barcelona. I feel like both teams are both wanting European glory, but I think Manchester United need this more than FC Barcelona due to the fact I think Xavi has masterfully rebuilt Barcelona into a fighting force again. I feel like he's going to win a Liga with the team. I feel like he's making them a better team now with the players he's recruiting. And I feel like he's got Barcelona back playing to their best, especially with the likes of Gavi and Pedri, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Kessie, Christensen, Dembele, Frankie de Jong. They've got so many players at Barcelona, you would think to yourself, bloody hell, they have got a squad now that you didn't think they would have had years before. I mean, I still expected Messi to stay at Barcelona, but obviously now he's at PSG. And I feel like one day Messi is going to return to Barcelona because I think it's his destiny to go back to Barcelona and return to his former club. Because I feel like, I think Xavi, if they can win the Europa League and get back in the Champions League and even win the Liga, I feel like Messi would be attracted by the return to go back to Barcelona and leave PSG after being there for 2 or 3 years as a PSG player. But I feel like the main focus now is we have to go to the Camp Nou and try and win. We have to go there and keep a clean sheet, and we have to try and go there and beat Barcelona. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be an uphill task for this Manchester United side. With the injuries and suspensions and the fatigue we've got, it's going to be tough to even try and keep a clean sheet. The threat of Lewandowski, for me, is the big problem. I also think Rafinha, Frankie de Jong and Ousmane Dembele are also a major, major threat to that Man United goal. I feel like Barcelona will get a goal too if we keep playing where we are. I watched the highlights of the Leeds game again yesterday, and I feel like Leeds were robbed, in my opinion. I feel like Leeds did deserve something out of that game. And I feel like, do you know what? They deserved to get the result. Yes, I thought Leeds in the first half were the better team, but in the closing stages of the second half, Man United actually turned up and actually got the 2 goals they needed, thanks to Rashford and Garnacho. And I feel like we are going to have to try and do the same in the first half. We cannot afford to let Barcelona attack us. We need to have a clean sheet in the first half. We cannot afford to go a goal early down in the first half, because that would put Man United on the backward step for the second leg, and it would put us out of the Europa League. And I feel like we need to start prioritising all these competitions now. I think the FA Cup has come important. I think the Carabao Cup, obviously, are in the final. The Europa League, obviously, I think is being prioritised. And I feel like the Premier League as well is obviously still there in our grasp, that we could possibly win the Premier League. But Erik ten Hag has to be faced now with trying to go to Barcelona and win. And it's not going to be as easy as we all think it's going to be. Barcelona are a major, major threat again, and they're becoming the fighting force they once was when they had Messi, Neymar and Suarez and co. They are becoming a good team again, and they are playing some fucking good football. And for me, if Barcelona play the way they're playing at the moment, I honestly do think Manchester United are going to get absolutely ripped apart. I feel like Manchester United are going to get absolutely annihilated. If we start the way we started at Leeds and let Leeds be on the front foot and have the major possession control, and they can control the midfield and control their ruthless attack, I feel like Barcelona will be able to put 3, 4 or even 5 goals past Man United's defence. And I think Man United are going to have to make serious rotation for the game on Thursday night, because Thursday's a pivotal point now that the fatigue, I think, is going to start showing from Europa League football again. Will Manchester United sacrifice this and just maintain Premier League, FA Cup and Carabao Cup focus, or will they go for European glory? I think Ten Hag needs to now know that we need to go to Barcelona and get the result. We need to keep a clean sheet. We need a first leg lead. And if we can take that into the second leg, I think Man United will have no problems getting through to the knockout rounds. I mean, Man United are in this position because we didn't finish top of the group. And that is down to the goal scorers we don't have. And that's down to the injuries, the suspension, the fatigue this team's actually got. And I feel sorry for the manager. I feel sorry for the supporters. And I feel sorry for the fans that we haven't got the squad capable of getting this team till the end of May. And I feel like all the hype, all the praise is going to be shut down in the next few weeks, because if we go out the Europa League, it's going to be nothing more than devastating, because you're then going to find a way of how the hell do Man United get back in Europe? Well, that's by getting Champions League football and getting top 4 in the Premier League this season to get European football for the next season. That's the only way I can think Man United can take a positive. If we can win the Carabao Cup, sacrifice the Europa League and then win the FA Cup and get top 4 in the Premier League, I think that would be down to a very, very successful season. But I feel like obviously we have to go to Barcelona and somehow try and outplay a Xavi team that is playing some really good football. Their league form is second to none. To be 11 points clear of Real Madrid says the rebuild Xavi's doing at Barcelona. The results he's getting, the goals they're scoring and the way they're absolutely annihilating opponents is a major, major worry. And plus, they've also got major players like Ansu Fati. They've also got, I mean, you look at their back 4, you look at that midfield, Sergio Roberto and Busquets. I did not want to face Barcelona, and I feel like we have been put in a situation we could not afford to be in. But unfortunately, that is down to Manchester United. If we would have won our group and scored the goal, we needed to beat Real Sociedad for the 2-0 win, we wouldn't be in this situation. We wouldn't be need to having to rely on a playoff. But we are where we are today. We are going to have to face Barcelona, and somehow we are going to have to go to the Camp Nou and win. I mean, that is a hard task as it sounds already. Going there to Barcelona away, it's not going to prove easy. It is going to be one hell of a night. The atmosphere is going to be electric, and I feel like Man United need to go there and silence the fans and supporters and get off to a very, very good start. But I look at the squad we've got at the moment. Can this squad capable of beating Barcelona for 2 legs? I have to ask myself that question. With the squad we've got now, which the squad we could have had, can we beat Barcelona for 2 legs? I'm very unsure. I'm very, very unsure how we beat Barcelona, because I feel like their attack is a lot better. I feel like their midfield is a lot better. Their defence is a lot better as well. And I feel like the only weak position they've got in their team is probably the goalkeeper. I feel like Ter Stegen isn't very good now as what he used to be. And I feel like Barcelona are having to rely on a lot of players that they don't really want to use, but they're using them. I mean, even Kessie is a threat in their midfield. I mean, there's hardly featured for Barcelona. And I'll tell you what, why Man United didn't take an opportunity on that is an absolute bewilderment of why we are where we are today. And I feel like that would have been an attractive opposition to go and get Kessie from AC Milan on a free transfer. But that's Man United, something clearly ignored. And it's just been a downward spiral since that January transfer window. And lucky, like I said yesterday, we beat Leeds, but only just. And like I said, I think they were robbed, and I feel like they deserved to beat Man United. And I think the second half told for Leeds that they couldn't keep up with Man United's pace and the attacking threat. They simply couldn't keep up Leeds, and obviously that's why we won yesterday. But if we can go to Barcelona and keep a clean sheet, I think I'd be happy. If we could get a 1 or 2-0 league on aggregate to take back to Old Trafford the second leg, I think we'll be okay. But then Barcelona know they've got nothing to lose, and they know they can come to Old Trafford and score goals. That's the only problem I've got is facing Barcelona. I mean, the threat of Rafinha with his left foot and the threat of mighty Lewandowski, I mean, it can only say whether problems are going to occur Thursday night. I feel like if we go back to playing Maguire and Lindelof and Shaw at centre-back, I feel like, in my opinion, that simply doesn't work. And I mean, I watched some of the highlights yesterday. I thought, like, in my opinion, I think some of the player ratings were absolutely ludicrous by the number of ratings some of these players are getting out of 10. I thought Malacia was dreadful. Luke Shaw gets so much hype. Maguire is absolutely dreadful. Fred is atrocious, and Weghorst, just don't even get me started. There are so many players in that team who should not be featuring in a Man United shirt, and the problem is we've got no choice but to use some of these players because the squad depth is on its knees. The manager is up against a brick wall here, trying to break through the brick wall to get a fit squad. And unfortunately, when you've lost Eriksen, Donny van der Beek, McTominay, Martial, Anthony, they're all going to be out injured for Thursday. None of them are going to be fit. And I wonder how Man United are going to be able to even put a team out, because you look at that team from yesterday's Leeds game and then you look at that bench, the only attacking option we had off that bench was Garnacho. And for me, that's a major worry. And for me, he transformed the game yesterday, made an instant impact as soon as he came on the pitch. And the way he took his goal, he has sat down so many haters and doubters that criticised his game and basically saying, you know what, I am good enough to be for Man United. I am going to be a world-class player. I am the next generation. And I'm going to take my opportunity by storm. And I'm going to get in that Man United team, and I'm going to prove a point to all these pundits who think they're very, very good at their job, and all these critics who think they're amazing at pinpointing the ludicrousy in their performances. I feel like Garnacho is going to have to start now, because you're looking at that team that played just there. I mean, Weghorst, I mean, if he starts against Barcelona, that is embarrassing. I mean, from going from Ronaldo to Cavani, then to Weghorst is an absolute disgrace. I feel like if he starts against Barcelona, I feel like we are going to get so much banter and embarrassment and laughter shown in our face, because Barcelona fans will be thinking, why the hell did Man United go for Weghorst? And they're right. They are very, very right. Weghorst offers nothing up front. He can't score any goals. 1 goal in 7 games is simply not good enough. And the problem is, this is the standard of this football club. And if he starts against Barcelona, I don't think he's going to have any impact on goal. His height advantage is probably the only advantage he's got, but he can't put the ball in the net. And the problem is, from corners, we're dreadful. Crosses into the box were dreadful. And the problem is we've got no attacking threat. And this is the problem the whole game. We're probably relying on our bench again, probably just to get Man United over the line Thursday night, because Garnacho's going to have to start. I think Rashford's going to have to start. And I think Sancho's going to have to start as well, because, like I said, you've got no Anthony, you've got no Martial, and you're not going to start Alanga away to Barcelona. That is going to be a major, major risk that's not worth taking. McTominay isn't available. Donny van der Beek isn't available. Eriksen isn't available. So Ten Hag is basically pinching at straws here, trying to put a squad out. And the problem is with the squad, with so much football they're playing, the fatigue's only going to get worse. The injuries and the suspensions will mount up. And then Man United are going to be left between a rock and a hard place, trying to fulfill a team sheet. And that is the problem I've mainly got with this club. There is no squad depth. There is no backup plan if this season goes down to be an absolute car crash. If we go out of the Europa League, I am blaming it on that board. I'm blaming it on those owners, but I'm also blaming it on that Europa League knockout playoff draw that was live. We did the live watch along from. It's funny how that ball, which Man United were in, was being watched like a hawk. As soon as Barcelona came out, Man United's ball gets drawn out. That ball was being watched like a hawk. Somewhat, they all knew where Man United's ball was, and they didn't take their eyes off that ball with Man United's name on it. And the problem is, we shouldn't have to be facing Barcelona. But the problem is, we are going to have to come up against teams like this. We are going to have to face teams like this to see where we are compared to Barcelona. But I feel like the Champions League experience Barcelona have had, I think it's just going to be too much for United to cope with. I feel like if Barcelona are 2-3-0 up at half-time, there's no way Man United are coming back from that. There is no way they're going to come to Old Trafford and we're going to beat them. We won't, because Lewandowski is Barcelona's biggest threat. His goal-scoring record is absolutely crazy. The goals he has scored for Barcelona this season, no wonder he's probably one of the best strikers in European football. The way we didn't look at that is an absolute travesty. Why we never tried to lure Lewandowski here was probably one of the biggest regrets Man United, in my opinion, had last year in 2022. They should have tried to have got Lewandowski out of Barcelona, no matter how much it would have cost. And they would have got Anthony as well. They should have got both. Money should have been available for the manager. And unfortunately, Ten Hag hasn't been back properly. And I think that will tell on Thursday night. Because of the lack of options, this team's actually got left. If Martial and McTominay aren't back by the end of February, beginning of March, we're in big trouble. If Donny van der Beek and Eriksen aren't returning to the start of next season, we're in big trouble again. And the problem is, you then rely on this squad thinking, bloody hell, we're stuck with Alanga, Zidane Iqbal, Fred, Tom Heaton, Jack Butland, Varane, Martinez, Garnacho. That could be the bench. And the problem is with that bench, you can't afford to start Varane and Martinez on it. They are going to have to both start on Thursday night. We cannot afford to be playing players like Maguire and Lindelof and Luke Shaw at centre-back. They were dreadful against Leeds yesterday, and all the hype and some of the praise they were getting was massively unjustified. They're not good enough as professional footballers. They are never going to be good enough for Man United's level. And the problem is, the more appearances these players make, the more hefty these players will probably be at the club next season. And the problem is with that, if you don't get rid of the dead wood, and the more chances some of these fringe players get, the more likely chance of they're still going to be at Man United next season. And the problem is, if that happens, I honestly can't see where this rebuild is. I honestly cannot see where the rebuild is happening under Ten Hag, because I feel like if the Glazers don't sell and we go out the Europa League in midweek over the two legs, this season for me has been nothing more than a PR stunt. This season for me has been wiped off because the Glazers did not back Ten Hag Erik Ten Hag, our manager, in January. They didn't back him, and people say, well, he got Weghorst, he got Sabitzer, he got Jack Butland. What are you moaning at? They were all loan signings. Not one of those signings was permanent. They could have made Sabitzer permanently and found the money, but they didn't. They come up with all their pathetic PR crap and excuses they leak at that club like a sieve to try and get the fans and supporters to sympathise with them. Well, I'm sorry, I don't sympathise with these owners. I don't sympathise with them at all. The best way to sell the club is buying new players in January to make Man United more sellable. And they've basically fallen for the trap that they didn't do it. And that, for me, is not an attractable opposition. That, for me, is not correct. If they would have got 3 or 4 permanent signs in January, the club, I think, would have been sold very, very quickly. But I don't think the club is going to get sold. I've got a very, very funny feeling the Glazers are going to do a U-turn and they'll stay at the club, then expect us to get them behind them and back them as owners. I'm sorry. I don't trust these owners. They're a complete muppet. The board are a joke as well. And I'm not being funny. If we do go out the Europa League, which I think is going to happen, I don't think we're going to beat Barcelona over 2 legs. I have to be optimistic that we can go there and win because we are a better team than what we were under Solskjaer and Rangnick. If Solskjaer and Rangnick were still here now, I would have expected Man United to get absolutely turned over on Thursday because we're not going to beat Barcelona. And the way Solskjaer didn't train this team or didn't coach them properly or was completely useless of any ideas, that would have basically, Barcelona would have smacked us. I still think they will because we've then got no midfield again. I didn't realise this until I woke up this morning. We've got no Sabitzer Thursday night. I didn't know this. Apparently, he picked up a yellow card in the group stage with Bayern Munich, which made him suspended for the next game. And obviously, he's moved to Man United now for a loan move. I didn't know those bookings carry over to Europa League. So basically, we've now not got no midfield because that's Sabitzer out, McTominay, Van der Beek and Eriksen, all out for Thursday. So basically, we're stuck with Fred and Fernandes. We've now got no midfield, and the problem is, I feel like they'll end up playing Lindelof at CDM, but that for me would be absolutely travesty if we saw Lindelof at CDM. If they do that, Barcelona will pounce on him like a cat chasing a pigeon. They will absolutely car crash that midfield. We've got no midfield. The only positive we've got is Casemiro is back for Thursday. His suspension does not carry over into the Europa League when he got sent off against Leeds and Palace in the home game. We've got Casemiro back, but the problem is we've then got no midfield reinforcements to bring off the bench. We've got no reinforcements, so that midfield is probably going to have to play 90 minutes on Thursday, because if you haven't got McTominay and you haven't got Eriksen and Van der Beek and Sabitzer, we've basically got no midfield off the bench. And it's the same with the attack. You're not going to bring Elanga off the bench. Garnacho and Sancho are going to have to start. I would bench Weghorst because there was rumours he was meant to be dropped yesterday, but still got selected. I mean, if we're putting our trust in Weghorst, we're in big trouble because he can't score a goal. There is no attacking threat with him. He is not a threat in the box. He can't put the ball in the net. And the problem is with the attacking options, we've got no Martial. So you're going to have to start Rashford and Garnacho anyway, and Sancho, because you ain't got no Antony. This is the problem for me. Erik ten Hag has been thrown to the wolves. This club, this team, season could come off the edge of a cliff. This season could be over by Thursday night, because if we get destroyed in the first leg, there is no way we're coming back in the second leg and getting a win. We won't beat them at home because Barcelona's first leg aggregate is going to be too big. It's going to be too deficit for Man United to take on. And that's the problem for me. There is no squad depth. So I don't know what team Man United go with. I don't even know what bench they'll have either, because there ain't no options. There ain't no players left. And this is the issue I've got. If they would have backed Ten Hag in January, we might have been in a better shape now. If that tackle on Eriksen and Donny van der Beek didn't happen, they'd probably both be starting Thursday. If McTominay weren't apparently injured, he might have been starting Thursday. So I don't know where Man United go on Thursday. I don't even know what team we even go with. Will it be the same team as yesterday, but start Varane and Martinez and drop Luke Shaw and Maguire back to the bench? And the midfield's going to have to be probably Fred, Casemiro and Fernandes. And attacking threes probably have to be Sancho, Rashford and Garnacho. That's probably going to be the team for Thursday. I can't see us making hostile changes. I just wouldn't risk playing Maguire at the back because he will not be able to deal with Lewandowski's threat. I wouldn't even start Luke Shaw there because if he's got Rafinha and Frankie de Jong and Ousmane Dembele running at him, I honestly can't see how Man United defend that. I can't see how we keep a clean sheet because I think for me, our defence is probably the weakest in the Premier League. For without Varane and Martinez, we're nothing at centre-back. They have got to come back in. And like I said yesterday on the match reaction with the Leeds game, I couldn't understand why they were dropped in the first place. Was it all part of rotation for Thursday, knowing Maguire and Luke Shaw were not going to be rested on Thursday night? Will they both start? If we go with the same team we went with yesterday, I honestly think Barcelona will rip Man United apart. I honestly think it could be 4 or 5-0 over one leg and we'll be out. We will be out the Europa League in the next few weeks. I still think we'll be out anyway. I can't see us going to the Camp Nou and winning. It's a hard enough ground to go to in the first place, but away to them is a nightmare because Barcelona, the way they're playing, it just sounds like that Man United are going to be up for. I think Man United are going to be up for it. I just worry about long term how long we can keep them at bay for. Because if Lewandowski and Rafinha and de Jong all get a shot on goal and they all go in, we're 3-0 down in the first half. What the fuck do we do in the second half? Well, we'd have to go out and to attack them. We are going to have to attack Barcelona. And I think Barcelona, for me, their weakest position in that team is probably their back four. because I don't think they have a lot of good players there anymore. I don't think Jordi Alba starts much at left back anymore. I think Christensen doesn't really start at the centre back much either now. So I think Barcelona are there for the taking. I just worry how long we can attack them for and maintain the attacking threat, because we will get tired. We will get exhausted. The fatigue will start setting in again. And the problem is we then have to play Sunday against Leicester. So we're still between a rock and a hard place here. I don't know what to suggest for Man United. Do we give up the Europa League and just let Barcelona get through? But we do not want that mentality of just getting hammered again. We need to show Barcelona, Manchester United are on the way back. We need to go there and absolutely outperform our own ability. If we can beat Leeds, there's no reason why not we can't beat Barcelona. I'm not afraid as Barcelona as much as I was, because I knew when they had Messi, Suarez and Neymar playing for them, you knew that front three were devastating. I still think Messi will end up back at Barcelona, because I think you'll get tired of PSG life by just winning the French pub league all the time in Liga 1. I don't think Messi will ever be at PSG forever. I think Barcelona will bring him back. But if we were playing a Barcelona team now and they still had Messi, Neymar and Suarez, we would still get annihilated, because they would have a better team, a better attacking front three. And I feel like our front three, I think our front three, I think it's up there with Man City, but I would take Martial, Elanga and Weghorst out of that equation. I feel like the only decent attacking options we've got up front is probably Anthony, Rashford, Sancho and Garnacho. For me, I do not rate the rest of that Man United attack. I think that's what a Leicester or a Bournemouth would do on a deadline day, try and sign fringe players that aren't good enough. And the problem is with those fringe players, we've seen too many games already. In the last 7 results, I've seen nothing from Weghorst that convinces me. Fred, why he still starts in midfield is atrocious. Maguire, don't even get me asked on him. I watched the highlights of the Leeds game and he was awful. I mean, some of the balls he was playing out of the back, which were going straight to Leeds players, says a lot about Harry Maguire's ability. And there's also fans and pundits getting on De Gea's back for yesterday. David De Gea kept us in that game. He kept a clean sheet. He kept 3 or 4 decent Leeds chances out of the goal. He kept a clean sheet. Some of the saves he made to keep Leeds out basically shows why he's one of the best goalkeepers. And there's people saying, Man United need a better goalkeeper. I don't think we do. I just don't think pundits are like David De Gea. They don't like his game. They don't like his ability. And they probably don't like his age. And that's the problem. They're probably just jealous that there's former players who can't keep up to the level that De Gea does. And the thing is, you've got to start De Gea Thursday. I wouldn't start Jack Butland, and I certainly wouldn't start Tom Heaton away to Barcelona, because that would be 8 or 9-0, because they wouldn't keep a clean sheet against them. De Gea does not deserve the criticism he's getting lately. I don't understand why people are on David De Gea's back. There's nothing wrong with his ability. He's one of the best goalkeepers we've had since Edwin van der Sar. So I can't understand why pundits and some fans are moaning at his game and its distribution. Maybe look at the crap back four we've got and maybe wonder why we don't keep clean sheets. Because also, Delo yesterday, absolutely dreadful. And the problem is he's probably going to start Thursday. Wan-Bissaka, they've had Wan-Bissaka on the pitch at the same time as Delo. And both of them, yet again, are awful right backs. I mean, bloody hell, why did we go anywhere near those two in the first place? Some of the players we sanctioned moves for under former managers. No wonder Erik ten Hag criticised the recruitment. No wonder why he moaned about why Man United have been nowhere near the last few years. It's because the recruitment's been bloody shocking. It's been absolutely embarrassing. Some of the players we've brought have not been up to the level that we've needed, and it shows why where we are today. Erik ten Hag has had to work miracles. He's had to turn into Merlin. He's had to turn into Sooty and wave his magic wand and gone, Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. Let's rebuild this football club and try and get it back to where I think we can get it to. There's only so much Erik ten Hag can do before he's going to get mentally worn out. And he's probably tired at the moment because he's knowing he's having to train the team so much because we've got so many games in. Do we need to sacrifice a cup competition? That's what I would question. Do we need to sacrifice something before it's too late? Because if we run out of players, we might not be able to fulfill games. That's one question I've got to ask myself. Do we give up the FA Cup? Do we give up the Europa League? For me, it'd be blatant no. But honestly, from the sensible point of view, what are we prioritising this season? What's the priority target? Is it to get top 4 and win the Premier League? Is it to get top 4, win the Carabao Cup, win the Europa League? Is the priority win the FA Cup, top 4, and sacrifice the Europa League and the Carabao Cup? I don't see where this 5-year plan's been put in place. I don't see where. We don't get anything out of this football club about what the plan is. And for me, long term, that's really, really worrying. And for me, I want a plan put in place that we're going to be able to win things. And I feel like we're doing the right thing. We've got the right manager and we've got the right players now. But you've got to be looking at it from a bigger point of view. Where's the season heading to? Can we keep up this momentum? Can we keep on going and keep on winning? That is what I've got a question about. Can we beat Barcelona? That is what I would suggest to all of you. Can we beat Barcelona? Can we go to Camp Nou and win over the first leg? Can we go and get a really good first leg lead and take it back to Old Trafford? Can we do it? Can we beat Barcelona? If we start well, we can. If we can control the midfield and we can control the passing and the intensity of the game, I think we'll be okay. Casemiro, thank God, is available because I'm done with Fred. He was dreadful yesterday and he got man of the match somehow. He was bloody dreadful and apparently he carried the whole team. He's awful. I mean, why is Fred still at this football club? He's absolutely atrocious. And Barcelona, if he starts against Barcelona, we are going to get absolutely screwed over. It's going to be 4 or 5-0 in the first half and it'll be 6 or 7 in the second. We simply just can't hold the midfield battle with Fred in it. And it's the same with McTominay. Do you know what? Hopefully Fred won't start. Well, the problem is Fred's going to have to start. We ain't got any other midfielders. And I wouldn't play Lindelof at CDM. I think that would be a bloody car crash. I had to play Lindelof at CDM. Bloody hell. We're actually doing that in training. We're actually training Lindelof to be a CDM. And it's like, oh my God, here we go again. We're going back to Solskjaer days. Gallagher, look, let's put Lindelof at CDM. Let's train him to be a CDM in front of the back four, Gallagher. I don't want Lindelof at CDM. He's a centre-back. He's not a CDM. He can't be a CDM overnight. This is the problem. The team Ten Hag's going to have to go with. The only change I think he's going to make, I think he'll change the back four. I think he'll go back to Varane and Martinez and put Maguire and Luke Shaw back on the bench where they belong. I think Malacia will start ahead of Luke Shaw. I think for me, he is the better left back out of the two. Yesterday, I wasn't convinced yet again. I'm not surprised why. But I just don't think he's up to this level that we want. And I don't think his game allows him to get the ability we need to get him to. And I think long term, Malacia ain't going to be here long. And I feel like we were going to have to go and invest in a proper long-term left back and a right back as well. Because for me, it's going to have to be Dalot over Wan-Bissaka. I know I don't want either of them, but we haven't got any other decent right backs at this football club. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. We simply just don't have the players required to take us to the next level. And this is the problem with this Man United team. We simply do not have the squad needed to be able to take on the mighty European giants, because Arsenal's recruitment's better, Man City's recruitment's better, Chelsea's recruitment's better, Liverpool's recruitment's better, even Spurs' recruitment's better. Barcelona's recruitment is crazy good. Man United is like, well, try and rebuild in-house. Try and rebuild the squad you've got currently. If that squad let down the fans and supporters last season, some of those players shouldn't even be at this club still. They should have been shown the door in January. We should have sold half this squad in January and brought in replacements. That is what the real option should have been. We can get your players there, but half these players are going to have to go. And we need a list. Well, that list is probably as long as my arm, because the squad is that on its knees at the moment and the fatigue is set in. The injuries are mounting up. And if we lose any more, I just worry, what can we do if it doesn't go well Thursday? What can we bring off the bench? Well, there isn't any option. The only options I think that will be off the bench, I think will be Weghorst and Elanga. I think they're the only two attacking options we are going to have to bring on, because Sancho will start ahead of Anthony, because Anthony's injured. Sancho will start, and I thought Sancho was very, very good yesterday. I thought Sancho was a very, very good option. He's actually bringing back the ability we all wanted, and what we all thought in Jadon Sancho was world-class ability. I think some of his critics have been also unfair. I think some of the scrutiny Sancho's had is massively unjustified. And for me, we're a better team with Sancho in it than without him in it. And I think Garnacho will start with Rashford up front. I think we'll play Rashford down the middle and Garnacho on the left because they, for me, are basically getting his team over the line. I mean, 21 goals a season for Marcus Rashford. Ten Hag is completely transformed him. He's Optimus Prime. Marcus Rashford's Optimus Prime. He's a transformer. He's been transformed with this new manager, and he looks such a better footballer now than he's ever been at this club. For me, he wasn't very good under Van Gaal. For me, he wasn't good under Mourinho. For me, he wasn't even good under Solskjaer Ragnick. And for me, Ten Hag has made him an absolute baller. And he said he's going to become one of the best players in the world. I completely agree. I think we're seeing a completely different Marcus Rashford now than what we saw seasons ago. I feel like we've got the best Marcus Rashford back. And if he can keep his scoring form up, I feel like the only opportunities we've got to attack Barcelona's defence is our front three. Because I think the midfield will do its job, hopefully, with Casemiro back in, and hopefully Fred could maybe actually do something for once with his game and improve it. The only options we've got is we attack that Barcelona back four. I feel like with Garnacho's pace, and I feel like with Rashford's speed, and the way they can transform and attack the back four, you saw that with Garnacho yesterday. The way, the speed and the agility he had to get through that Leeds back four shows why he's going to be one of the best. For me, that reminded me of the Fulham goal Ronaldo scored way back in 2006, 2007. You look at that goal Ronaldo scored away to Fulham to win the game. That reminded me of that Garnacho goal yesterday against Leeds. That shows the intensity he's got in his game. That shows the ability and the talent and the skill and the passion he has got playing for this club. He transforms the game. He brings off an option we don't have. And Garnacho has transformed this team. He's absolutely transformed it into a fighting fit front three. Weghorst gets taken off. The front three gets transformed so quickly because what we did yesterday, we were playing 40, 50-yard long balls up front to Weghorst to try and bring down in front of the back four. That didn't work. We can't afford to turn into Liverpool when they brought Ricky Lambert and tried long ball football. We can't afford to do that. We've got to go with the best front three we've got. And for me at the moment, that is Garnacho, Rashford and Sancho because that is all we've got. And if we have to bring Alanga on and Weghorst on in the second half, we're going to have to do it because fatigue and tiredness will set in. I don't think that squad is capable of going full 90 minutes on Thursday. I don't think it's got it in it. I really don't because the only great addition we're going to have back is Casemiro. And if he can shut down the Barcelona midfield and he can run his own game and maybe Barcelona pick up a few suspensions and bookings for the return leg, we might have a chance of beating them. We can beat Barcelona if we go for it and we show our heart. If we can go to the Camp Nou and win, that shows where we've come as a club. We are a lot better under this manager. Let's not beat around the bush. We are a much better team under Ten Hag than what we were expecting to be. We have overachieved this season. We really should be in top four. We shouldn't be in the UEFA Champions League places. We really shouldn't be in the Carabao Cup final. We shouldn't be competing in the FA Cup later stages. We shouldn't even be in the Europa League still. But that is because Ten Hag is set out a plan here. He wants to take Man United back to where they should be. And that is the top of European football and English football in the Premier League. He's got big plans to transform this team. And I'm hoping and praying that we can go to Barcelona and we can win. If we can keep a clean sheet and we can come away with a 2 or 3-0 win, I will take that because I feel like the second leg would actually be done. We could rotate Old Trafford but still go with a very, very strong team to get Manchester United over the line and into the Europa League knockout rounds. If we can get over the line and we can beat Barcelona over 2 legs, this season might be a good one. I still think it will be. This sixth season nightmare is going to end. We are going to win trophies this season. We'll be back in the Champions League. We'll get top 4 and we'll win 2 or 3 trophies. If we can come through with the quadruple, that would be amazing. It ain't going to happen, but if we can win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and we can win Europa League and we're back and we've got Champions League football next season, we might be okay. We might be better next season than what we are now. I'm expecting greatness now. I want Man United to show they're up for this. Go to Barcelona and make a statement of intent. Go to the Camp Nou and win. Outdo Barcelona. Go and show those Barcelona players we are not here to be messed with. We are not going to let you destroy us. We are going to go there and show some fight, charisma, passion, heart and desire. Go to Barcelona and show who you are as Man United footballers. Show to them. Do you know what? We have been shit over the last 5 years. We've not been good enough as a team. But this first year under Ten Hag, we're transformed. The belief and the confidence at the back, the positivity is there. And he's transformed these players. He's transformed that squad. And he's bringing in what we should have had in the first place. Talented players with a talented manager doing the right things. Because that's what Ten Hag's doing. He has worked miracle after miracle with this club, and he's only going to work even more. And if we can beat Barcelona on Thursday night, great. Let's go with the team I would go with. De Gea, Dalot, Varane and Martinez at centre-back, Malacia at left-back, Casemiro, Fred and Fernandes in the midfield three. No more Weghorst. Put him back on the bench. Start Garnacho, Rashford and Sancho. That is, the best option we've got. That, for me, is the only attacking option this team I feel like can threat with. I feel like Barcelona will not be able to cope with Garnacho. I don't think they'll cope with Rashford. And I feel like if there's goals to be had, those two need to take it. Go to Barcelona and make a statement that, do you know what? We can win Europa League. It's looking against the odds that it's going to be a tough game. Of course it is. But do you know what? Anyone's beatable. Barcelona are beatable. Let's not beat around the bush. We can go to Camp Nou and win. I'm more confident now than what I was a few weeks ago because the results we've picked up. I'm not as scared of Barcelona anymore. I was only scared because he had Messi and Neymar and Suarez. I'm not scared now. They're not a big threat to me. But I feel like the Champions League experience in Barcelona will tell. And I still feel like, in my opinion, there's a difference in quality of some of these players. I feel like Barcelona, for me, have got the better attacking options. I feel like, for me, I would only say we'd have the better midfield if we had Eriksen, Donny van der Beek available. And Sabitzer, because he's suspended. So it's going to be an uphill task. It's going to be a tough game. But do you know what? I've got to be confident, optimistic we can go there and win. We've got no choice. We are going to have to go to the Camp Nou and beat Barcelona. It's going to be a tough night. It's going to be a tough ask. But do you know what? Man United have surprised us a lot over the last few weeks. Some of the results and some of the goals they've scored. If we can go to the Camp Nou and win 2-3-0 over the first leg and keep a clean sheet, great. Because that will be us through to the knockouts when we play them in the second leg. For me, scoreline, I'm going to go for 2-0 United. I feel like if we can get the 2 goals, goal in the first half, goal in the second, maybe sneak in the late third on the break, we might be okay. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go for 2 or 3-0 Manchester United. I feel like that'll be the scoreline. And hopefully this will be a positive Thursday night match reaction to the game as well. So I hope you enjoyed the preview. Remember to hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to United Red Devils 20 on YouTube if you're new to the channel and the community. Remember to share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always put the notification bell on all times to receive dedicated brand new content planned for the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel community if you're new. Got more Fortnite content coming. Hogwarts Legacy is coming very soon, next few days. Kingdom Hearts 4, the new SpongeBob game, Minecraft, Disney Dreamlight Valley, FIFA 23 career mode, Football Manager, more previews, more match reactions. We're going to be going out on our bike rides again very, very soon as when the weather starts picking up. And obviously then please join me for the match reaction Thursday night, which hopefully is going to be a positive one. And hopefully Man United could do the unthinkable and actually go to Barcelona and beat them. It's going to be a tough night. It's going to be a tough ask. And hopefully it will be a positive match reaction Thursday night. Let's just hope Man United can surprise us and go and beat the mighty Barcelona. So join for the match reaction Thursday night. Hopefully we can win and get the first leg lead so you can take into the second leg. And hopefully Man United can win Europa League. It's going to be a big ask with the teams left in it. But I feel like, in my opinion, the Champions League experience to Man United is going to tell with the squad because Barcelona have been in the top European elite competition. We haven't. But I'm hoping on hope that I'm praying that, you know what, we can go to Barcelona and win. There's no reason why not we can't beat them. I have a lot more faith and belief now under Ten Hag than any other manager I think this club has had since Sir Alex Ferguson. I think Ten Hag is going to be the next Sir Alex Ferguson, and I feel like he can take us to the next level that we all want to see. And I think the fan supporters are going in for a tough night Thursday, but let's see what happens. Man United might surprise us. We might go there and absolutely annihilate, and we might go there and win comfortably. So let's just see what happens. Jump in match reaction Thursday night. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other. You're all legends. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you guys later on this afternoon. Thanks for watching.